Okay. So I was on Twitter like I do, and
Like I be.
like I be, and
Some people don't think it is what it do, but it be.
Mayweather and
I'm sleep.
Manny Pacquiao.
Like cats and dogs.
Yep, going back and forth, back and forth.
Not in a ring, though,
No,
unfortunately.
no, and they probably never will.
No, I don't think they
Manny Pacquiao says something to the effect of like, because Mayweather had testified in front of a grand jury about some of the stuff that was seen on his 24/7 special or whatever it was on Showtime.
Jesus.
And Manny Pacquiao was like, his testimony shows me all I need to know about why he's not fighting me, and it became this whole big thing. And Manny Pacquiao took the low road, and he started, or I'm sorry, not Manny Pacquiao. Mayweather took the low road and like posted a bunch of pictures of Pacquiao being knocked out and like started clowning on him and stuff. And
Right.
it just became this whole big thing.
And then he's like, I can't read.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing he can do. He's not very clever or smart.
Right.
Well,
exactly.
he's good at pictures because
Because
That's
all
all
he
he
can read.
knows.
he owns pop-up books.
So, it became news for about 5 minutes. And it became news for about 5 minutes because no one gives a shit anymore.
No.
And it's not just because they don't give a shit about Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, because that shit, that's gone. That's done. That hype is over with.
Well,
It was fun for, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It would have been fun.
3 years ago, for 3 years.
Right.
It was
It
fun.
big,
Yeah.
but now it's fucking done, and it's indicative of what is going on with MMA and boxing, which is that society as a whole has become, for some strange reason, very accepting of MMA, and boxing is falling to the wayside. It's been going on for a couple years now. Just MMA has just become more popular. It's lost its image of being like douchebaggy, like tap out shirts and like just like
Listening to Stained.
right, like
Well, I wouldn't say all that.
I'm
but
not
it's
saying
toned
that.
it
I'm
down
not
a
saying
little
that
bit.
people.
yeah.
I'm not saying that people don't still equate those things with MMA.
It's become
but-
more mainstream.
Right. There's a lot of people who don't even look at it that way.
Mhm.
They just look at it like, well, I mean, these guys are fighting. So why do you think that is? I mean, do you think boxing will ever come back to prominence the way
Nah.
it was?
Nah,
Why
because
not?
it's a more exciting event.
MMA?
Yeah, I mean, we saw Anderson Silva's leg
Ugh.
get broken.
Ugh.
Yeah, that was.
He was the champion,
mean.
and he
Yeah,
just
that was
snapped
bad.
his leg.
Yeah.
Does that
It's
happen
brutal.
in boxing? Do people snap their wrists
No.
that just wrap around another person's head?
Well, I mean, they wear wraps and 16-ounce gloves. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah, oddly enough, more people have died in boxing matches than MMA fights.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. Well.
well, like Pacquiao and Mayweather, I feel like the sport of boxing itself is past its prime. And it's become disappointing. And just something that, with all the controversy over these garbage decisions that we've seen time and time again, it's like nobody's willing to spend the pay-per-view money to watch this event that may or may not end in bullshit.
But yeah, that's part of the problem. That people just get frustrated. Like they see the card and then they go, all right, well, this person
Right.
is more popular. They're probably going to win just
Right.
by, even if it goes to decision, not by knockout, just because that person's more popular.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention, I feel like there are no more stars in boxing anymore.
No, there aren't.
Like there's a sect of people that love Mayweather, love him to death.
Yeah,
like
they love 50 Cent too.
oh, used to. I think they're on the outs, right? Mayweather and 50 Cent. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. The
Well,
whole-
they love Justin Bieber.
Oh, that's true. and Lil Wayne.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't see the appeal in boxing
Just
anymore.
a team of scumbags.
And, I mind you, I grew up watching both MMA and boxing. Like MMA at its infancy, I grew up
Seriously,
watching.
yeah.
And
Guys
you know,
with those throwing flying kicks with no gloves.
yeah,
on.
wearing gis still,
Yep.
and like there was a sumo wrestler. What? It was like Street Fighter. It was
It was a
awesome.
fucking Street Fighter.
Oh my
That's
god.
exactly what it was.
Yes, but real. But yeah, I mean, like having grown up watching both of these, combative sports, it's been crazy to see how far boxing has fallen from graces, from even a legitimacy standpoint and an excitement standpoint. I remember back in the day, people always used to talk about MMA as being garbage because they didn't understand it. They didn't understand, how people would get into these different mounts and, getting tap outs and stuff like that.
It's just a bunch of dudes.
It's dudes laying on each other. This is stupid. Yeah.
I'm not like that, bro.
Yeah, I don't like watching this. But, over time, people have come to realize there is immense skill that you have to go through to know what's going on in that sport. And it's so physical and mental. It's just frankly more exciting of a sport to me.
I think it's been a systematic thing where like MMA has like increasingly become more popular because they're not trying as hard to make it an event every time they do something. They're like, you know what? Hey, you want to show MMA fights on TV, basic cable channels?
Yeah.
Go right ahead. We'll show top of the line fights.
That's because
on TV for free.
Fights are better.
I don't know if I call them better.
They don't need. You can just based on track records or hearing other people talk about it, when two fighters get together because someone's going to make a bigger deal out of it, and you're not going to be able to catch, the weigh-in, that face-to-face bout that always happens in boxing where they all get in each other's face and talk shit.
Yeah.
They don't need that in UFC.
Although they do have it.
They have it.
Absolutely.
They don't need it. I hardly ever catch those.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they learn from the best.
They had the big one with Bones.
Yeah. Well, there's those certain superstars that they always, build up for that card, and, it's the same thing all around. But
yeah, and I also think that it's just it's people nowadays. I mean, I think there's a lot of contributors, man. Like one thing I can think of is like people's attention spans. Like MMA, you have one guy, he's the champion. You have one weight class, and it's that guy. Welterweight, middleweight, heavyweight, flyweight. Like there's just that guy. In boxing, you got the IBF, WBC, WBO. It's just people don't have time to pay attention to all this shit.
The WOW and the OMG and the LOL.
And then like you have a champion, you have a number one contender, and then you have everyone else who are fighting for those spots. In boxing, you've got a number one contender for each federation of boxing. So one guy can have 3 belts. Fight another guy who's got another 3 belts.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? There's no legitimacy to it. Like no one cares.
It becomes meaningless.
Right. And I think that's been going on for decades.
It
but
just needs to be consolidated.
Right. That's what I've always said is like they need to just destroy these federations, come together and just have one belt for each weight class. I don't know why they're not taking cues from MMA.
Because then they can't say that this guy's the best.
But I guess. But I still watch boxing from time to time. A couple years ago, boxing was my favorite sport. It was. I liked it more than basketball and football at one point in my life.
Basketball is my favorite of a sport. I like to dribble up and down the court.
It is hard for me to like watch as what used to be my favorite sport just slowly dies, just this painful, awful death.
Marco, help me.
Watch me.
Marco, enter the ring.
Order my fights.
Buy my pay-per-view.
But that's another problem.
You must train.
You can go to any bar and they're like, yeah, of course we're playing the MMA fight. Why wouldn't we?
$10 at the door.
You know what happened the last time we tried to find the Mayweather fight? Yeah. $10 at the door was one place. Most places weren't even fucking playing it.
Yeah.
Because they were like, why? We're not going to spend $50 on this pay-per-view. It's not going to bring people in because that's how they're going to make their money back. Like, of course, we'll order the fight if we can get a bunch of people.
Now that you said it, doesn't make sense for a restaurant, a business, to make a big deal out of $50, $60 for a pay-per-view. Unless they have to order it like multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
if it's just the one time playing on all the TVs, then yeah, you're right. Come on, what is that? That's nothing.
Right. That's like a bar tab for like 3 dudes.
Right, and you would make your money back and then some. Oh, yeah. Bringing people in for a shitty fight, you could still get a bunch of people in.
Yeah. Unless there's some like hidden fee that we don't know about.
But I'm wondering I'm wondering if they do have to order it for each TV. I don't know. When we ordered fights back in the day, we only watched it on one TV. So
in my day,
you had to hit the A button to order it. You didn't just get these damn fights on the cable.
We did. Last fight we ordered was Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was the last time we ordered a fight at my house.
You had to call.
Yeah, no, did we have to? Yeah, I think we did have to call.
Yeah, I remember when they had to call.
Holy crap.
Remember when they had to call for those.
Yeah, that was the last time we actually ordered a fight at the house. Now we just go to other people's houses.
You've learned.
Yeah.
Learned over
It's smarter.
time. Yeah.
But yeah, it's depressing because I still love the sweet science, man.
Yeah, there's a little place in my heart for it still, having grown up with it.
It's good to watch.
But
sometimes.
but MMA,
But like
I
you
mean,
said, the attention span. I don't want to watch two dudes just, not even like get into it for 12 rounds.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's another problem. I mean, these MMA guys. But see that's what I'm saying about it being like a systematic thing is like in MMA, you go at it for what 3 to 5 rounds depending on
Yeah.
your weight class and how
5-minute
important
rounds.
you are.
Super long 5-minute rounds.
Right, but I mean, they rarely go to distance. Well, not rarely, but they don't often go the distance.
It's rough when they do.
The
Yeah.
excitement is knowing that it probably won't go the distance.
Right, it could end at any time. One guy slip into a lock and it's over.
Right.
In boxing, it's more systematic. It's more strategy.
They got
it's
protection.
More,
They got a guy that goes, he's down, let him
Yeah,
up.
there's a lot
and
of-
he gets back up. Where in this one, if the
If
guy
he
goes
goes
down,
and it's just
You're done.
you got
But
a ref that's going, all right, that's
It's over.
enough. This guy wins.
But it's also like really fucking brutal to watch. Like boxing has always been like the safer alternative to watching, to watch a fight because it's always been two guys who are trying to pick their spot,
Right.
and once they find that spot, that they win the fight. But I mean, you knock a guy out, you don't like stand on top of him and then mash his face in until another guy decides, all right, you've mashed his face in enough.
Right.
Let's end this.
But again, that might be deceiving because, like I said earlier, more people have died in boxing matches than they have MMA fights. Because in MMA, like David was saying too, you get knocked down, you're done. There's no coming back up and, getting knocked out a couple more times so you're brain dead by the end of the round.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if you get
You
like,
don't
knocked
at the end of
unconscious,
an MMA
yeah.
fight, you very rarely ever suffer a mild head trauma.
well, yeah, because they're going after so many other spots of their body. Like the head is not the focus. You can win a fight by holding the guy's
Armbar.
arm in a
Exactly.
different.
So not every fight is like the head the main target. Where in boxing it is.
Yeah, I mean
Where
that's
you want to go for the chin. You want to go for the eyes.
no, that's true. I mean that's how you're gonna end a fight. I mean I have seen fights ended on body shots, but
Yeah.
Very rarely.
yeah, but they're exciting.
But they are awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You just go down.
do you think like the boxer's just like trying not? He just loses all functions here. And he's just trying not to shit himself. So
My
that's,
belly!
That's why he goes down. He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh God, please don't shit yourself,
Yeah.
please."
You're wearing white trunks. No.
There were bad joys.
So yeah, I mean, going forward, I really think that, boxing is, if it doesn't change, because boxing will never be as big as it was.
It's gonna be a classic sport forever and ever.
It will. It definitely will. And
'Cause boxing's been going on.
but it
since
just needs to
forever. Beginning of man.
it needs to make changes to it needs to make changes
Stop punching him.
And with the combo.
that will make it so that it has more longevity, because I really do feel like boxing will live on forever.
Spike gloves.
Jesus Christ. They had that bare knuckle thing. Did you ever see that? They had a bare knuckle. It was like one fight, and I'm not even surprised. I'm surprised that it even got one fight because it was bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah,
and it was
no.
like, okay, well,
Brutal.
Was
Yeah.
it Irish gents?
God, some
I don't know.
pugilists.
I just saw this
Like
commercial
this.
and it was like,
Fisticuffs. Come on,
It
old
was-
chop.
it was BMB and it was a pay-per-view, and I was like, I'm not ordering
No.
that. I don't want to
BNB.
see BMB, bare knuckle, or
Brett?
BNB. I'm sorry. Well, I
Brett?
guess it'd be BK.
Wrong. There you go.
B-
Bed and breakfast.
Spelling's hard, right? Mayweather.
You're learning from the champ.
whatever. I'm gonna call it.
Reading with the champ.
So
Please don't
And
murder us,
so
Mayweather.
Harry casted stupefy.
that was kind of messed up, man. They released those videos of him.
He didn't have to post that.
He didn't post it.
He
The
didn't
radio
have to-
station posted it.
No, 50 Cent was like, I'll give however much money to this charity.
That was after that came out, though.
Oh, it was?
That's why the joke happened, was because people heard that tape and
Yeah.
were like, he can't read.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why
it was,
that happened.
It was messed up. But at the same
What do you
time,
expect? He had to have some kind of flaw. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that it's just basic elementary reading
Yeah.
is his flaw.
I mean, like,
He's
come
not
on,
smart.
It
man.
brings him back down to earth. After all the flaunting, all the money throwing and all that, like, He needed to be cut down to
It really
size.
just shows like that's all he is.
Yeah, he's a guy that punches
He has
people.
no substance.
No.
He's not educated.
Well,
he can't even read. I wonder how he signs his name.
But see, that's the thing.
With his fist.
Or just an X.
That's why when people say, oh, you like Muhammad Ali and he talks as much shit, or Sugar Ray Leonard, you like those guys, they talk a lot of shit. How come you can't like Floyd Mayweather? But that's the difference, man. Floyd Mayweather has no fucking substance. There's nothing to the guy. There's nothing deep down.
There's a big difference. Like, if Muhammad Ali couldn't read, I'd be okay with that.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the fundamental difference. Was Muhammad Ali was an educated guy who stood for more than.
And he probably
fighting.
Like, I don't know.
The money, I should say.
I don't know what
Yeah.
Mayweather's background is or anything, or like where he came up from. But I know.
Oh, rough and tumble.
I know Cassius Clay was not a very wealthy man growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I can understand if like he came from that and just focused on boxing his entire life.
I mean,
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali put his entire career on the line for just something he believed in. Like,
Right.
Mayweather would never do that in a million years.
Yeah, he'd
No.
be like, yeah, all right, let's go. Ship me on. I'm not losing my money.
Right.
He's about
I'm
the
not
money.
losing my title.
He's just about the money. That's what it is.
And that's the difference. And people, like, there's no fucking comparison. And I don't know why people, like, I've talked to people who say that to me, because Muhammad Ali's, like, one of my heroes, so people say that to me, and I'm like, there's no fucking comparison.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, I don't want to be disparaging to people that genuinely like Mayweather because, I mean, he's the champ.
Oh, he's a great fighter.
He fights smart, you know.
Okay, right. He's not a great fighter. He's a smart fighter.
He's a smart fighter. He does what needs to be done.
I think
to win
yeah.
the fights.
I think he picks his opponents.
Of course he does.
Well, no. I'm saying I know he picks his opponents, but I think he picks them smartly so that he's never gonna lose.
Right.
I think he's a fucking coward, but he is a smart fighter.
Well, I mean,
That doesn't even make him a fighter. Do you understand that? Do you
Not-
understand?
Do you understand?
Do you understand? I shaved my head. I'm not bald. Do you understand?
Yes, references people will not understand the irony. But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, and he is all about the money. He reminds me of a musician that makes garbage music, but people back him up because he makes so much money, and that's it.
Like Skrillex.
Sure. Like, oh, he can't be that garbage because he's rich.
Yeah, I hate that argument. In any fucking avenue where
Right.
people say, "Well, he can't be that bad.
Right.
Makes a lot of money."
He's a winning fighter. He's definitely a winning fighter, but he's not winning, like the hearts of fight fans.
Yeah,
No.
people think it's because he just talks a lot of shit, and it's like there's more to it.
Yeah, like what kind of person likes Mayweather? Is it just like the person that just kind of hears about him and just knows who he is, or the actual like diehard?
Well,
boxing
I mean,
fan?
I can see why diehard boxing fans respecting him as a fighter, because I mean he is a good fighter.
He's still undefeated, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I mean,
never
like,
lost
come
a
on.
fight,
But
and
why?
even
Why
his
is he undefeated?
even his good fights like Ricky Hatton or De La Hoya, even though he was past his prime, or Zab Judah, that was a good fight.
Yeah.
I mean, even his good fights, he's a smart fighter. He's a good. I'm not gonna take away from like his actual skill set. I just feel like he doesn't challenge himself enough to make him exciting, and that's another reason why people don't fucking care
Right.
about boxing, because the two guys who people give a shit about refuse to fight each other.
And are frankly past their prime.
Right. So,
So-
I mean, you've got all the top names in MMA going at it. They talk shit about each other. They're like, yeah, I want that fucking guy in the ring. I want to beat his face in.
Right.
That gets people excited.
Yeah.
That's why people watch
They
that
change
shit.
weight classes. To
Yes,
fight.
exactly. They move up. They're
Right.
like, yeah, I will fight him. I'll gain the weight or I'll lose the weight. I want to beat his ass.
Right.
Like, why wouldn't people want to watch shit like
Yeah.
that?
Meanwhile, Mayweather's like, I want him to take a drug screen, an Olympic drug screen.
Right. And I want him to do it every other day. I want him to wake up at 3 a.m. and take a piss test. That's what I'm into.
Piss test, yeah. Love piss test.
So yeah, I mean, it's definitely understandable why MMA has overtaken boxing.
I wish Pacquiao flipped it and was like, yeah, I'll fight Mayweather. If he was at an 11th grade reading level, I'll fight him.
Boom, boom, boom.
If
It's-
he gets an A+ in his beginner's writers class at the community college.
It's sad.
And
It's-
English isn't even my first language. And
Yeah, I wish. Man, when they were going back and forth on Twitter, man, I wish that he would have said that.
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to go.
He's
You know
too
what?
good a man.
I
He's
can
too good a
read
man.
in 2 different languages. How does that feel?
Right.
God, he didn't say it, and I was just like, come on, man,
He
say
can't
it.
say that because he's in politics.
No, yeah, he's a politician.
He's a politician. He's a good man.
He can't go back and say
She's a
Upstanding.
politician.
Yeah, that's true.
The
He's
guy's
a
a fucking
politician.
I
politician.
feel like we say that so lightly, but
I know.
yeah.
He beats people up on his time off.
Yeah.
That's the same with the fucking Klitschko brothers, man.
Yeah.
You go to Eastern Europe and they're like respected as like politicians and community leaders.
Right.
And in their spare time, they beat the shit out of people.
That's a leader I can stand behind.
Yeah, man. If fucking Obama was beating the hell out of people in his spare
my
time,
God.
man, I'd vote for him every 4 years.
Just 1 minute.
All right.